This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
Great to be back here again, folks, and really heartwarming to have two wonderful guests here, Mike and Maureen Glynn. How are you today?
Very good.
Good, Sarah. How are you?
Very good. I was just chatting with both of you and my brother off air, and nothing makes us feel happier and more grateful when we hear good stories, nice stories about families staying together and reaching out to us and asking questions, being curious about what can happen, even with great difficulty when it comes to, financial wellness. So, just hoping you can share your story with us.
Sure.
So, we're both professional people, both have good jobs and make decent money. And just over the years of different things happening, found ourselves in financial straits and had trouble keeping up with our bills, and things just started going bad. So that's basically why we reached out and got to the point where we needed some help.
I think that, I love the word help because I ask for help because it's important to be able to embrace and understand that we all need each other. We're here to support each other. And for us as a family-owned business, nothing gives us that sense of service, and we learn a great deal as well because, number one for us, faith and family. So the relationship must stay intact. And Mike, I was just chatting with you a little bit about also with the refinance, there were certain things that needed to happen. But before that, the credit score also was a little bit lower. So we worked a way to get that raised up as well, right?
You did, yeah.
Right. And then once that happened, you were able to do a cash out to pay off some debt.
Right. Yep. We kind of went through, details of every little item that we owed, every credit card, and Zaf was able to work with the credit bureau and the credit card companies and work it out so that we would get that amount of debt down to a certain amount. And after that, so that was kind of a tedious process of, calling them. And it really was eye-opening because you were, looking at everything that you had on paper and realizing, wow, this is crazy. How did this happen? But so once we were able to get those down and then continue with the refinance, and we cashed out because we had enough equity in our home, but our credit score was so low that we weren't able to refinance. So we definitely had to get that up in order to do the refinance. And once we cashed out, it felt great. We were able to pay off,
everything.
all these things that we owed, and it's like just weight was lifted off our shoulders.
Right. I was watching the two of you because I think one of the most wonderful part of it is that the relationship stays intact.
Oh,
That's so important.
Yeah, it got tough. It got really tough because, it separates you, the financial issues, communication, it goes. You stop pointing fingers. It just gets really, really bad. And, to be honest, there was a point where I was like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to, because I feel as though, I don't know. There was so many kind of little things that came out that I didn't know about. And I'm like, what's going on? How can I trust you anymore? And blah, blah, blah. And everything was in question. But, after this whole process, we call it our new start, our fresh start. And we just, we're happy. I mean, we're definitely meant to be together. We're never,
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's cute. You both come from a loving place. And Mike, I think that, it's tough when you're dealing with money issues and then you use the word secrets. It just, you shut down because I'm sure for you, Mike, you were afraid.
I was afraid. Oh, yeah. Days turn into months turn into years. And
Yeah, and you feel bad because, being the man, you can't support your family properly. And, and then the kids would come up to you and say, I need a new pair of sneakers. And we'd just be like,
And they weren't cheap sneakers. They wanted the
Yeah.
best.
Of course not.
And I'm like, I'm not going to punish my kids for our mistakes, so
Right.
We got them.
you get really smart, and you were able to move money around, and I have a little bit on this credit card, and you just do it. We were living basically day to day,
Right.
and
But here's the thing. It isn't only just, and I think we're the toughest on ourselves, but there's other things that were happening, family life,
Yes.
parents, things that you're doing, great things, kind acts, but it can become expensive as well, trying to be supportive to family members, trying to do the things that you think are, the right things to do, and that can also create that financial instability, right?
yeah, like I was mentioning earlier, there was so probably about 10 years ago now, I would say, when I decided to, because right now I work off hours. I've been in the same company for 25 years, and they're great. And we have 24/7 coverage for medical for hospitals. So there's a variety of different shifts you can work. Mm-hmm. So I was on the overnights, and I wanted to go back to days and kind of work on my career and see if I could pursue that. Now that the kids were getting a little older. And so my mom, who was 75, and she was going to be helping me out with taking care of my kids. So, it was, I remember it was before April vacation, and I was trying to call her and be like, it's, you're going to come and take care of my kids over April vacation. Well, it turns out she ended up having a stroke.
Right.
And then with that, she got dementia. So roles quickly reversed, and where she was going to help me, I needed to help her. So we ended up putting an in-law on the house, which is kind of what we always wanted to do, but we weren't prepared at that moment.
Right.
So that was a financial burden for us because we needed to do a lot of work on our part of the home. She had a home that we worked on fixing up and selling, and so we had some money for the in-law and blah, blah, blah. But that is another example of, life happens. And so then I became the caregiver for 7 years, and she lived with us, and Mike was great, and he helped out, and kids were great. Like everything, it all was working out. But it takes an emotional toll on you. And you kind of don't think about your finances because that's kind of in the background. You're just in that moment. And so I think then after she passed away, we realized,
and the focus was back on us.
Yeah, then it was just us, and it was like, oh, yikes. What are you doing?
Right. And that's the realness of life. It's just, we all face difficult challenges, and the most important part is keeping that family intact because, it's a difficult conversation to have. So we're really grateful that you can open up and share that with our listeners. Mm. And folks, you can call us at 1-800-662-9550 because there is hope, and there's certainly the most important factor to always know that we're trying to keep families together because of the fact that a lot of financial issues can be resolved. Mm-hmm. It takes less than 30 days. Even when credit scores are low, we bump the scores up for free. We do that over and over again without having to go into foreclosure, file for bankruptcy, none of that. In your case, you were able to take out substantial cash out amount, pay off debt. And I'm really happy to hear that you both are going away together.
First time in a while, yeah.
Right, and somewhere nice. Mm-hmm. We won't share until you get back. But that's important because it's time for you both to kind of rebuild because it's moving forward and it's fixable. Like the financial side is fixable. Mm-hmm. And, often people are too scared or the secrets have been held on too long and there's so much anger that the blame kind of keeps going back and forth. And finding solutions largely due to the fact that finances play such a huge role in the problems that we face today. Even for health issues and not being able to sleep at night.
You get them all, yeah.
Right?
Well, it does. It takes, and even you talk about stress and, you worry about your health and it's like, what is this doing to us health-wise? And
it is.
You get older and you're like, it's there in the back of your mind.
It is. I mean, you want to have peace of mind. But I do want to thank you both. Really, very kind of you to come, and very brave and courageous to share your story with us. So we are grateful.
Thank you for helping us.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Call.
The number here, 1-800-662-9550. Thank you so much, Maureen.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.